Dharma has many meaning actually. Then some people think Dharma as like justice, sort of, like very like equal. And then in Tibetan understanding, Dharma means like correcting your own mind. The most people accept explanation of Dharma. So we are talking about Dharma continually. And I was feeling that talking about Dharma continually, like weekends and some weekdays. Uh, it is like you are eating good food and doing exercise continually. And why always whatever you do, whatever you learn, always like doing something continually is very important. Like for example, exercise. When you do the exercise for your health, the most important is if you do it continually, regularly, right? So then, and that is the best one. Other than doing too much for 1 month, I have friends. These are like, very young age people, and they say we want to do exercise. Then they go for gym. They pay a lot of money there. They spend a lot of time there, and they lift up all those heavy metals, and they are doing all those things. They come out after 6 months with six pack. Right, they have muscles, right? Oh, looks cool. Then after 6 months they are again, and they are again like earlier, like they become bigger than earlier. Sometime they gain a lot of fat here and there. Okay, so doesn't work. I can see clearly, if you do too much exercise for few months, then you will get little shape. Then after that, no same. And not only that, my own teacher, he was like very how to say, like outgoing person, very friendly. And when he was young, he liked sports. I told you few times, like he liked to ride bikes, he liked to play soccer, like he does all sort of exercise. So he was healthy. And then he started to teach more and more, right? Then he did not get that much time to go out. Even he did not get time to do some work here and there. And sometimes people become really enthusiastic to practice Dharma and teach Dharma. Then slowly he got diabetes, blood pressure issue, right? Then then I thought like, oh, he was doing a lot of exercise when he was young, but doesn't matter if you do too much exercise during the young, then you don't do it later on. Maybe it will not benefit that much. So when in our physical health, we have to do exercise continually, like a little bit all the time. And likewise with the food, right? For example, you eat the good food few time, or then you eat junk food, then as that will not work very well. You should eat like healthy food or continuously. Maybe you can eat bad food for few times, but not that much, right? So, likewise in Dharma is very similar thing. If you practice Dharma so much, like some people do that, they are like, first 3 years they are like, I want to do all Dharma practice. I want to get all sort of initiation. I want to do all sort of preliminary practice. 100 prostration or whatever, all these things. Then after 3 years, okay, they are done. They even don't read Dharma books. They even don't think about Dharma, and there's not that much benefit. Then they will forget everything after 3 months. Whatever. So in that case, like here we have regular Sunday talk, and we do Thursday talk, and I think for myself, it benefit me a lot talking about things and thinking about it. Whenever I talk, I have to think about it. This is the bad time. All those white things are flying here and there. Sometimes I feel they're stuck on my eyes. so, uh, so yeah. So that doing that, like just attending Sunday talk and those Thursday talk, and I feel like these are like it could be our purification sometime. In the whole week we are facing a lot of things. It's not like that. Every day is you are facing at a wall and seeing only one color. It's not like that. You are facing many different people. You are in many different situations. You are hearing many different things. And not only that, nowadays we have cell phones. You communicate with people and you're always hearing a lot of things that some things likely they make you happy. The most time they make you upset and sad and regret all sort of things. So therefore listening about Dharma only one time could be like your purification, could be your recovery, and could be a self-correction there. I think our what we are doing is really beneficial in my understanding. And then what a special thing about Dharma, like the teaching that taught us by Buddha is like sometimes we have concept like very precious, right? Very special, something like and rare. These concepts are works for some people, but what is a benefit of being rare? Surely anything could be rare. Bad thing could be rare. Good thing could be rare, right? Or meaningless thing could be rare. So not only it's not like they're rare or something really like holy or like something very. Sometimes we have a concept like precious, right? It's so funny if you go to like an old, could be little Orthodox, like you go to the old temple in Tibet, they have bunch of things they pull out. Something could be like a deer's horn. Maybe you don't call it horn. What do you call it? Same thing? Okay. So deer's horn, or like some kind of piece of cloth or something. They pull out a bunch of them. It's like museum, right? And the best thing is when they pull out these things and they named a great guru, and sometimes they name the teaching. And the funny thing is that they think that is very precious, and they put that thing on your head, right? And then if it's one is okay, but they have a bunch of things. Then sometimes they pull out a lock and key and something like that. I don't know, it could have a deep meaning there, but sometimes then even the fact thing can become like precious. But I don't see Buddha's teaching like that kind of precious. So Buddha's teaching is what? What is special there? That teaching, if you learn more and more, if you listen more and more, if you practice more and more, that is always providing us like a special insight. Like I feel like it's like very additional eyes. You don't see things that you see through Buddha's teaching in anywhere. And then if you practice that teaching, if you become familiar with that teaching, what that makes is that makes our life meaningful, even though you don't make money at all, sort of. Nowadays, like whenever I say meaningful life, many people were not here, and in general, many people are thinking how much money they make. If they make few $100,000 in a year, I don't know what is the real concept, and they consider looks like that person has meaningful life. Everybody try to feel jealous of that person, or then among the family, sometimes people respect more those people, right? So, and that is a general. Even though they don't say it, they feel like that. That is sort of meaningful. But that is not. That could be helpful if you make a bunch of money, right? But it's hard to tell it's meaningful. Just think about, what I was told is like a Saddam Hussein in Iraq earlier. They have a golden bathroom. Am I right? Right. So if you have money, you can have golden bathroom, right? So is that meaningful? Doesn't matter if you poop in gold or poop in ground. Doesn't matter. So like that, that's the money can provide like these kind of things, and then end up with own life. These people, surely treat well some people, but these people are tragic. Own life face up in and facing a really bad death, Mussolini and all those kind of things. Those people, and they are put a lot of people's life in a miserable way. War and killing and dying, killing and dying. Especially not only make meaningful life. I think the Dharma teaching gives us very confidence in self-action, what you are doing. And most people, in my understanding, when they are like kids, it looks like they have meaning and they have goal for their life. Then when they are getting older, 40, 50, 60, that moment sometimes they realize, oh, looks like I have no goal in my life. Then when they think I have no goal in my life, then they realize whole of their life is not like what they thought earlier. That if someone understands Dharma and they practice, and then they're feeling like, okay, our goal of our life is not to achieve something and in this life. The goal of our life is and then according to your practice, you know what it is. That you always have goal. You are not like it's like you are standing outside of what you call a pyramid in Egypt, and someone is saying something is there inside. That you are digging and trying to get through there and working so hard, and finally when you are 60, you end up inside. Nothing is there. It's empty, hollow. Okay, then you feel bad, right? Nothing is there. Dharma is not like that. Dharma is like that. If you practice, you can go deeper and deeper. You can, until you become 100% perfect. Still there's goal. Still there's way to, prove something. And that is, Dharma. So, and therefore, I was thinking, and always thinking, I'm like, one thing that I heard from His Holiness: do we need Dharma or not? That is a great caution, and that is so special caution that rests up by a religious leader, especially like His Holiness. Like, do you think a religious leader can say that do we need my religion or not? Right? It's like a doctor comes and said, do we need a doctor or not? Something like that. Honestly, a very like great caution, and that is a pure and honest. So do we need Dharma or not? And that is a big caution, and that is important. Nobody should waste their life. And therefore, right, when he raised this question, definitely I was thinking like that. I was thinking, do we need Dharma or not? Right? At that time, I was in New York, and I was working here and there, and seeing things, hearing things, like also experiencing things here and there, in this country especially. I feel like definitely, right? I feel like definitely we need Dharma, especially in America. Right? Why? People are facing a lot of problems, even though this country has, really like, high level freedom. High level freedom. Surely, always struggling with many things, but still compared to other countries, this country has high level freedom. You can say whatever you want. One of my friends says, like, he says, do whatever you want unless it's not breaking law. It's like, very kind of, very general of thinking that way. Sometimes it's like that in here. If you don't break the law, then you can do, most things. So like, even though there's a lot of freedoms there, but it's still a lot of people are struggling and suffering. And then sometimes, you have more freedom, you have more, like sometimes they call this country as a country of opportunity, right? Why this country is called the country of opportunity? Because this country has freedom, and nobody will block you if you want to do something. But even though this country is a country of opportunity, you can do a lot of things, but still people are struggling and suffering. And then most time, it is not about, the outside pressure. It's more about, struggling inside. Once you have more freedom, once you have more opportunity, you do a lot of things. You do you do way more than people do in other country. And then when you do more things, then you hear more things too because of right of speech. You can hear a lot of things. At that moment, what do you need? You need to handle your mind. Then that is very important. Otherwise, some people could not handle these things, in this country. They like to go back where they are, most time it's not about food, it's not about, other things. It's more about to handle those things. You have to, think more than other people to live, in this country. Maybe, I'm talking like you are not thinking that way, but that's my thinking. So in that case, I was feeling like there is a lot of stress in here. The people have a lot of stress. People in America has more stress than people in India. I don't know other countries. Some countries, they have really problems, a lot of stress, like invisible stress, like even hard to breathe in some places. I'm not saying worse than that, but like in place like where I come from, India, like those people, some people might have, but many people are like kind of they don't have that much stress. They don't have to work that hard, and right. So and here people are working so hard and stuck in a lot of things. I think definitely these people need Dharma. For my answer for His Holiness question is yes, yes, we need Dharma. I feel like always at least we need the basics of Dharma. Even though, right, Dharma is like Buddha's teaching has it has its own universe there. Its own universe there. Many levels. You can, I mentioned long time ago, I remember like when I studied like 20 years, and after that, I tried to study in Vajrayana. I feel like that, okay, whole thing again there, new field, right? So that means it's very like dense and rich, and everything is there. But I'm not saying everyone need to, learn all these kind of things. No, right? So what everybody should need is they should understand basic Dharma. And basic Dharma is not a teaching and that bonds with many others. In my understanding, the basic Dharma is a great teaching, and that unless you wear a blindfold on your eyes, I don't know, right? Then nothing will work. Other than that, if you understand reality, truth, if you want to be an honest person, and then basic Dharma is a teaching that works with all sort of faith in my understanding. You always they have two, right? Orthodox and liberal. If the liberal, it will work. The orthodox, then it's hard. It's like wearing, something and could not, convince or could not provide anything there sometime. Other than that, Buddha's teachings are like very like great teaching, and that works with all others. And why? There's only one thing is there, because the Buddha's teaching is based on something I would like to say truth, but actually based on practice, practical things, and it's not based on something to obey. It's based on what we understand, what we feel, and what we experience. And therefore, listening to Dharma again and again, really benefiting. Sometimes even in monastery, we have teachers. In monastery, teachers are like, in the terms of practices, they have freedom. You can choose your own teacher. No, you are not obligated to learn from particular person. You can choose your own teacher, right? And the teachers are like very generous. They really teach you from bottom of their heart. But on the top of that, we have something called a discipliner. The discipliner is discipliner. Their main job is like, look around, it's not only 10 or 100, there's 3,000 monks there. And, if there's 3,000, guess what? They are wild people there too, Some people are always finding, problems and causing problems, and they need discipliners. And discipliners facing problems all the time because every single problems may end up on his table, right? And then, he give, most gathering, he give lectures there. Then some discipliners are really great and they give really meaningful lecture. Really a meaningful lecture, he was saying whatever. So, but some discipliners, they are not educated, right? And they are a little bit like, not that clever, and they are always scolding in gathering, always. They were here scolding all the time, and then there's no meaning. You keep hearing that again and again and again. Then sometimes I have to turn off my hearing system. Right, so even don't want to listen because, so like that, right? So even among those discipliners, when the discipliner use the real reason and something benefiting talk, it helps. Other than that, scolding and like, using word and like, talking something that doesn't have reason or like unrational. And that is like, not benefiting. So in Dharma teaching, it's not like that. There's always reason and reason and reason. And these are real, like, Adisha said that. The main point of Dharma is if Dharma benefit your heart, and that is the real Dharma, right? And then we have like other programs in Johat, I was thinking to talk very short for these things, but somehow talk is ending long. So we have like other programs like visiting teachers and like retreat and sometimes initiations, like these things here and there. And these are like kind of those programs provide a lot of fields, a lot of space, and provide different benefit. And sometimes hearing from different teacher is really insightful. It really helps. Sometimes you don't get the point from one person. You listen to someone else on same topic. Then you get, what other person mean that one, because it makes sense with that next talk, or and in that way benefiting. And not only that, that different people have different view. If I listen to like same teaching Lamrim from 5 different teachers, I might hear 5 or maybe 10 different things. Yeah, why? Because everyone, even the same teaching, but when they read, what they get is different, right? What they get is different. Likewise, among the listener, if you listen to one teaching, then you discuss with other people among the audience. Everyone get different point there sometimes, and that's why since you get different point, you listen to many, then you will get your own point with confidence. And that is like, what we get from teaching. And then, sometimes, there's one problem to listening too much from too many different people. And that is, like, you get, you lost in confusion. Like, in the monastic system, there are a lot of books, right? They have a lot of books, teachings from like, even, from like Tsongkhapa, and like Tsongkhapa's two discipline has bunch of teachings there. And not only that, there's teachings before Tsongkhapa, there's teachings after Tsongkhapa, like, first His Holiness, second His Holiness. There are many. But what they focus on one teaching. And that is sort of their private teaching. They have their private teaching. Meaning is they have their own private, looks like their law book sort of, and these are like more like, they are not sharing with others, or others might not sharing. And these teachings are what? Based on Tsongkhapa's teaching, and brave, and points are there. So they are holding that as spinal or root. And then they developed everything on that thing. And, and that looks like stubborn. That looks like really like, narrow-minded. Why you don't let all monks read all kind of books, all sort of teachings? Why you are making rules here, right? Looks like, there's American way of thinking sometimes, right? Why you don't give them freedom? Let them do everything. No. Why? If they do everything, they will not get anything. So in a sense, teachings are facing same way, and they provide them the, something to hold. And these are like symbol, and these are like shorter, should be braver than the Tsongkhapa's great teachings. Then it's not like that you hold that teaching forever. When you are learning, you hold that one teaching as, essential. Then when you develop your, insight, when you are, okay to expand anything, then you can let it go. But you don't have to hold the basis teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, first they will give you small books, say, oh, you have to read only that book, right? And then you can read other book after that. Then you are thinking, oh, that small book is everything. That must be our, the Lord's book or something, then when you reach in a certain level, or you understand, oh, that is small book. That is not, where I should hold. I should hold greater one. You will understand. But at the beginning, you try to hold greater one, you cannot. Then, you lose here and there. Likewise, when you listen to the teaching, right, always important to hold right one teaching, and then you should develop on that slowly. Yeah, but I don't recommend people to listen too much from too many. And reason why it's not about others, about yourself. Nobody should lose in confusion. That's why as I mentioned earlier, the beginner student, if they don't want to do everything in 3 years, there's a problem. They do everything in 3 years. They had bunch of different things in 3 years. After 3 years, they are tired. They are totally confused now. A lot of people are confused when they see the Vajrayana teaching. right? Then the worst thing is they think, oh, Buddhism is Hinduism. No. And that means when you think Buddhism is Hinduism, that day is proof that you lost Buddhism. You did not understand Buddhism. You did not. And then you think Buddhism is Hinduism. Why? You didn't get the point. If you don't get point, then it is. But hearing from other is not bad. Too much is bad, but hearing from others develop insight. And then we have retreats. It's very different than you focus 1 hour in a day, or you just dedicate sort of few days to do teachings. Especially it's like roller coasting, right? It's different. You are being in there or you are looking at it from outside. It's very different, right? You cannot tell what is there like that. You cannot tell what is there from outside. Likewise, if you do your own retreat, if you focus on meditation or teaching, then you think for whole week or something, and it's very different than just listening or not doing anything. In Tibet, the senior people, people who are retired or almost there, or people who have a lot of time. There's two kinds, right? One kind, when they have a lot of time, sometimes it's based on money. If they have a lot of money, they have a lot of time, sort of, in that maybe old-fashioned. Nowadays, if you have a lot of money, you have no time at all, whatever. So when they have a lot of time, what they do, some people playing, dice game, and then later on they are playing mahjong. Every day playing mahjong. Okay. Crazy, will not benefit anything, right? And they're sitting there and the whole day and night. I don't know, that game is kind of, but game people could not stop. Most time they play 24 hours. That's kind of, a very blessed game. So they're spending their life there, then there's no benefit, right? Maybe they can develop little social, maybe they can find friend, but most time, people end up with not liking each other, when they bet a lot of money in there and wasting time, right? And then some people, when they are retired, what they do their own retreat and then study teaching, and they are gaining more insight than earlier. Meaning is earlier they have to work, and now they have time. Then Dharma teaching is it's not you are learning how to build a house, right? If you are learning architecture or something, you will learn when you're young. You will not learn when you're very old. What should I do with learning that thing, right? Dharma teaching is not like that. Even though you are very old, gonna die next year, still there's benefit of doing it this year. And that is, I think, very special. Otherwise, one of my own experience, I saw the people who are old, 70s, 60s, and working still. And sometimes their works are they don't have to do anything. They have to sit there. Some works are like that, right? They pay money to sit there, and then what they do? They keep watching something on the phone every day. What they are watching? They are watching shows. They are watching, I don't know what, this kind of funny things. These are funny things for young people. These are not that funny things for when you were 60 in Tibetan understanding. When you are 60 or 70, you should do very meaningful things. You should not waste your precious time with just staring at what other people are doing. Right. So then when I look at those people, maybe these people doesn't know what to do. Maybe they go to church, maybe they go to the mosque or whatever, but this place not teach them what to do. Right? I'm not saying all sort of places like this. Some places you go there, you pray there, and that's done. You will not get anything to practice, right, in your daily life, right? And sometimes the readings are doesn't have that much variety, such as mind training practice. Always that is connected with your own life, right? So I don't know. So I think most people, they don't know what to do. Then some people read the novels. Then there's not much difference between reading a novel and watching something, right? Very similar. So therefore, I don't meant to talk this way today, but somehow end up like that way. But Dharma teaching is very beneficial. So listening a little bit, only 1 hour on Sunday, if you keep doing that continuously, whether come here to listen or whether you listen to someone else, whatever, if you listen to Dharma every week 1 hour in Sunday, that will benefit a lot in your life. And I'm not saying you will born in heaven because of that, but I'm saying it will increase your insight. It will recover you what happened, right? So then also it will provide you something to do meaningful all the time. Okay, thank you very much. I will stop here and see you next week.